What if I told you that a simple $2 wire buried quietly in your yard could generate electricity without ever receiving a bill? No solar panels on your roof, no loud generators in your backyard, no dependence on the grid. Just the earth itself, silently producing energy beneath your feet. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, but the truth is, the idea isn't new at all. In fact, over 100 years ago, one of the greatest inventors in history was already experimenting with this exact concept. He believed that energy wasn't something you had to burn fuel for, it was already all around us, waiting to be tapped. Back in the late 1800s, experiments began to show that the Earth could behave like a giant electrical system. When metal conductors were placed into the ground and connected in specific ways, small amounts of current began to appear. No batteries, no external power, just the natural difference in electrical potential between the Earth and its surroundings. The setup was incredibly simple. 2 conductive points, a wire connecting them, and the ground acting as a medium. And yet, something remarkable happened. Electricity flowed. It wasn't strong, it wasn't enough to power cities, but it was undeniable proof that energy could be extracted from the environment itself. Now imagine this scenario in your own backyard. You take a copper wire, cheap, widely available, and push it deep into moist soil. Then you connect it to another metal object positioned above ground or in a different location. You attach a small LED bulb to complete the circuit. At first, nothing happens. Seconds pass, maybe even a minute. And then a faint glow appears. It's weak, almost ghost-like, but it's there. That tiny light is powered by nothing but the Earth itself. No plug, no battery, no bill. So what's actually happening here? The ground beneath us contains moisture, minerals, and electrolytes that can conduct electricity. When 2 different metals interact with this environment, they can create a small electrochemical reaction, similar to how a battery works. At the same time, there can also be a natural voltage difference between the Earth and the air above it due to atmospheric and electromagnetic conditions. When you connect these points with a wire, you allow electrons to flow, creating a current. This concept is often referred to as Earth energy harvesting, and while it sounds revolutionary, it's actually based on well-understood scientific principles. But here's where things get interesting. If this method works, even on a small scale, why isn't it being used everywhere? Why aren't homes powered by simple rods in the ground? Why isn't this technology taught in schools or developed further? Some people argue that the answer lies in economics rather than science. Energy today is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Power plants, fuel systems, grid infrastructure, everything is built around centralized control and billing. A system that allows individuals to generate their own energy, freely and independently, doesn't fit easily into that structure. However, there's another side to the story, and it's important to understand it. While these ground-based systems can produce electricity, the amount is extremely small. We're talking about millivolts or microamps in many cases. Just enough to power tiny sensors or low-energy devices, not entire homes. Scaling this up to a level where it could replace conventional electricity would require significant technological breakthroughs, advanced materials, and optimized conditions. It's not as simple as burying a wire and eliminating your electric bill overnight. Even so, the concept reveals something powerful. Energy doesn't always have to come from burning fuel or spinning turbines. Sometimes it's already present in the environment, waiting to be harnessed in smarter ways. In fact, modern technologies are already exploring similar ideas, like harvesting energy from soil microbes, capturing atmospheric electricity, or using geothermal gradients. These are real, active areas of research, and they all point to the same conclusion: the Earth itself is an energy system far more complex than we fully understand. Now picture the future for a moment. Instead of relying entirely on massive power grids, imagine homes equipped with multiple small-scale energy harvesting systems. Not replacing the grid completely, but reducing dependence on it. Lower bills, more sustainability, and greater independence. It may not come from a single wire in the ground, but the principle behind it could evolve into something much bigger. So the next time you walk outside and look at the ground beneath your feet, remember this: it's not just dirt. It's a dynamic, electrically active environment with untapped potential. The idea of free, limitless energy might not be as simple as viral videos make it seem, but it's not pure fantasy either. It sits somewhere in between, where science meets possibility. And maybe the real question isn't whether a $2 wire can power your home forever. Maybe the real question is this: how much energy is already around us that we've barely even begun to use? If you're curious about hidden science, forgotten experiments, and the kind of ideas that challenge everything we think we know, make sure you stay connected, because the next discovery might not just surprise you, it might completely change the way you see the world.